Hum hum hum. Ba ba ba.
We are
Hum
live.
ba.
We are live, by the way.
Ba hum ba hum ba.
Hey everyone.
Welcome to the
We're
pre-show.
Yeah, this is a pre-show. I think it'd be cool to record a pre-show like 10 minutes before we start.
Yeah, I think it's a good
Maybe. I don't
good
know.
warm up.
I need to wake up my brain.
Um
Oh, did I? Actually, no. I shouldn't say that live.
Oh wait,
That
hold up.
person who messaged me on LinkedIn.
What's up?
I shouldn't say anything live, but like someone messaged me on LinkedIn. I don't know if they want me on their show or not,
Uh
but I don't know.
oh, is it that NBA?
Yeah.
Beep beep.
Your mics are on, by the way. I know,
We know,
Brian.
Brian.
We're on a
Oh,
pre-show.
wait a second. I can just mute myself by turning it off now.
Oh wait, I didn't. Oh,
That's cool.
I
That's
didn't. I
cool.
didn't like change the scene. That's why there's confusion.
Uh
It's on the old slideshow. I missed the old slideshow where I used to like put on music before we started, and it was like all pumped up and shit.
yeah, dude, I missed that too. And there were some like random cool graphics there too. I like that.
Yeah,
Oh, what is that dude? The Flea King or something? The one I'm
that's
seeing right.
Pangu.
Pengu.
I think a cool thing to do would be have the Zach and Akash show brand as an umbrella, and then have multiple shows one day underneath it. It's like Wikipedia shows one.
That's why it's zachandakash.com,
I mean, yeah.
not zachandakashshow.com. Oh,
And most of Wikipedia stuff is on the free or is on the public domain, so we can use it. Like the Wikipedia speed runs, people monetize those.
dude, we should do that one day. Just randomly get on and do one of the Wikipedia speed runs. And then whatever article we end up on, that's what the show's going to be about. We do it live, true live.
I cut myself. There's blood on this page.
Are you okay, Zach?
There's like
Is there something you want to talk about?
look at how
Why are you
fucked
cutting
up
yourself,
look at how
man?
fucked up my fist is. Beating kids up.
Whoa, whoa.
All right. Um,
Yes, Brian, that is a haircut.
this is either gonna be a train wreck because we haven't done it in a while, or really good. But if I believe it's a train wreck, usually it ends up really good. So
That's true.
so I guess
It's
we're on
it's a
the right
good
track.
omen if Zach believes it's a train wreck. Let me switch to analytics.
You see yourself on the live stream. All right. Um, I'm gonna stop recording and then record again so we have it complete. All right, let's go. Let's sync.
Let's think.
This is some behind the scenes shit. We sync on atomic clocks, so our recordings are on the same time.
Oh yeah,
See, this is
Zach
a
and I
fucking.
sync all the time. Wait,
This is
hold up.
like
Let me just
this is like a
test it.
technical solution we
One,
could
two,
create.
three. 1, 2, 3.
I should do that too.
Beep beep beep
Hey
beep.
everybody.
La 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 la.
Do that too. Hey everybody. All right, right on, right on. Wow, we actually have a lot of viewers today. 4.
Nice, nice. That's
Yeah.
good.
Wait,
Okay.
can you talk for a minute? Let me check your audio on my
Talking, talking,
bring you down a little bit. There
talking
you go. All
right
right.
now.
All right, I think we're good to go.
All right, cool. Um, let's do 10:07.
Oh shit. All right, 10:07.
You guys are gonna watch me and Zach sync together
That's
live.
right. This is very exciting.
4, 3, 2, 1. Boop. And we're live.
Ah, you fucking beat me to it. All right, everyone. Oh wait, that was a close one. I almost didn't record for okay,
The video.
the video. All right, everyone. Hey, welcome. Welcome to the Zach and Akash show. Actually, this is the Wikipedia show on the Zach and Akash show. If that makes any
Now,
sense.
this is the Wikipedia show with Zach and Akash.
Yeah.
We're still working on the branding.
So as you guys, if you listen to the last show, we decided to pivot for like the 15th time and just go Wikipedia because the other one wasn't really vibing
It wasn't
with me, at
fun.
least. I don't know about Akash. Was it vibing with you?
I enjoyed the flat Earth one. I will say that. I
That one
really,
pissed me the fuck off.
I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, other than that, it was okay. I wasn't really, it was like you said last time. I really did feel like just going through the motions and
I think what happened was we overshot because there's that conversation piece that would come up in every podcast pretty much, and we overshot it and only did the conversation piece, which is more of like a side dish for a lot of these things. Like I'm pretty sure we might have like a conversation after this read
yeah,
through
no,
of
the
this article, but
conversation's a definite part of it. Well, through it for sure,
yeah,
because I do have a lot of questions about Buddhism. I'm pretty excited for this one.
cool, because I may or may not have answers.
All right.
Okay, so for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Wikipedia show, what happens is Akash and I will pick an article of our choice, and one of us tries to become the expert, and the other is just like listening and is the student and will ask questions. Um, it's cool because it builds our breadth of knowledge on things, and like we can read about whatever we want. I've definitely
Yeah.
learned a little bit about Buddhism here. I kind of cheated, like I knew some things about Buddhism, but whatever.
Yeah, the Wikipedia show, that's just going to be the Wikipedia is our primary source for all of this, but we will also be going to other sources because sometimes Wikipedias for certain topics are kind of small.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
you can branch off and go onto YouTube and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
you
Also, we
mainly
got to
use the article
make
as a.
sure we can call it the Wikipedia show. I know we could use the picture, but it's the word Wikipedia.
I
Is
think I
that
think we're okay for now.
all
At
right?
least
All
we're
right.
okay.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Right. Right. We're broke right now until
we're
we're not broke.
there's a show called like Improvised Wikipedia as well, and they're pretty popular. They haven't been taken down, so I think we're gonna be okay. But
Mm.
but for now, it's okay.
And Zach, is it true that this is going to be uploaded in a new podcast page? It won't be part of the Zach and Akash show anymore.
I think it'd be a good idea to do that. It's the Wikipedia show by Zach and Akash. Um, yeah, I think it's better to do that because like
Cool.
I know New York Times they like have like this and this by the New York Times whatever. So I think that it's okay if we do that. It's more
All right,
organized.
cool. So what we're gonna do is, right now we've kind of gone back to basics. You look at the stream; it's just the two of us talking. We're gonna come back with a minimal layout, and we're gonna throw up all the social media and everything like usual. So if you guys can't make it live one of these days, you can check us out on the podcast whenever that's up. That's gonna take a while to set up, by the way, because how long did it take last time for it to get on Google? It took like a
Google
month, right?
Google took like a really long time, but Spotify was like instantaneous.
Cool.
Apple took I think like a little bit, but we're already in like the approval process. It's been like a week, so we might be okay. I'll have to like
Sweet.
double check, but I think
Right.
yeah, this is the pilot show. So I decided to choose Buddhism as my topic this week because I think in the West it's a very mysterious topic. So it's a little mystified in my opinion. It's always been mystified by the West.
I'd say these days it's a bit more mainstream than Mystified.
Yeah,
Although,
but I think it is mainstream, but like in the media and stuff like that, it looks a little mystified. Like you see people, obviously, like meditation's a big part of it, but you see people like meditating and all this talk about nirvana and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think Akash is PPing. He's back. Okay, so I'm gonna open up with a story. This
I'm back.
I'm open up with a story. This is not really in the article, but so I kind of cheated, but like I don't know why it's not in the article. This is like the foundation of everything. Okay. All right. So I think our story begins like 2,500 years ago. So
Whoa.
before Jesus even. So this is crazy. It's a long time ago. Um, so I think we're in Nepal. There's a very wealthy young man called Gautama Siddhartha. He's like the Kardashian of his time. So he lives in this palace, and or no, when he's born, his father is this like rich ruler. He owns like a small kingdom in that area, and a holy man comes by and he says, "Your son is destined to either become a king or a holy man." And so the father, I think, wasn't gonna have any more like boys or children or something. Maybe the mother died. I don't remember, but he was like in line to be king or something like that. Otherwise, his kingdom would go to someone else. So what happened was the father decided to like lock Gautama Siddhartha, or I'll just call him Gautama. He decided to lock Gautama in like the palace and surround him with all these pleasures and things like that. So there was like spices, women, I don't know, maybe he had a pet tiger, something like that. But he was not allowed to leave the palace. It was pretty much all luxury. And
Sheltered man.
sheltered man. I think he was in there until he was like 32. So you think
Really?
quarantine's bad?
Oh my God.
He was sheltered for about
He
32
was
years of his life.
wow.
So one day, you're like he's like trapped in there. So he's thinking like, what is the point of any of this? Like, what am I doing? He's like, why is there all these pleasures? Like, what am I supposed to be doing like that? So he was curious about that. So he was like, everyone's gonna get, if you're locked for a long time, you're gonna be like, what's beyond the wall? Like everyone, that's like just human nature. So he's like, what's beyond the wall? So they took him out in a cart, brought him around the city, and he was like, no, I want to explore on my own. So in the middle of the night, he escaped from the palace and he started exploring the town. And so the first thing he sees is this like old man. Like he's like an old man. He's like on like a little cane, stuff like that, hunchbacked, skinny, bearded. Like he looks like an old man. And Siddhartha says, "So what's wrong with you?" And the old man's just like, I'm old. I'm just old." So he was like, "Wow, is that what's gonna happen to me? People get old." So he saw that, and then he walks down an alleyway and he sees another person sick and dying. He has like boils and stuff like that. It's not corona. I don't think it's smallpox either. I don't know if that was a thing yet. But he was also dying of disease. He was like, wow, people die of disease as well. So we saw that. And then he saw like a funeral procession. There was a man wrapped in the linen cloths and they were disposing of the body. He was like, oh shit, people die. And so he was like, that sucks. So he started like going out and just like visiting all these like yoga temples, not like yoga today with like, I don't know, goats and stuff, but like yoga. So he's doing yoga,
Goats.
he's trying to like learn the meaning of life and what his purpose is. And then after that, like he was like, what's the point of this as well? And so he escapes and he meets like another sage who was like starving. And he was like, or no, what happened was he saw a sage who was like praying and like starved and like basically homeless and begging for food. And he saw him and he was like, wow, that guy seems very content with his life. Maybe the pleasures is what is causing my unhappiness. So he like wanders off and he becomes a beggar. He joins a bunch of naked ass beggars and starve himself as well. And then soon enough, he was like, wow, this also sucks. Removing everything is pretty shitty as well. So he's like, all right, you know what? I need to figure this shit out. So he goes over to a Bodhi tree. You can visualize that, a Bodhi tree. And he sits. And he's like, I'm not going to get up until I figure this out. So he sits there for 49 days and meditates. And then he becomes enlightened and becomes the Buddha.
So that's right, guys. Just starve yourself for 49 days and meditate, and you will become the next holy man.
So now we need to talk about what he discovered in his meditative state in those 49 days.
Mm.
So let's talk about life for a second. So now you live your life, there's an endless cycle. You're living your life, you will die. You're born, and you die. Everything does that. Maybe except for rocks, but rocks also have a cycle where they become, molten lava and things like that. You live and you die. It's an endless cycle. Also, what about when you're, chasing after things like money? Let's say you get $100. Your salary is $100. That's really shit. Your salary is $100 a week, and then you're like, all right, maybe I want 200. Even if you get like $1 million, you'll still want more. You're always gonna want more. You're never gonna be satisfied. There's an endless cycle of life and death where you always want to be satisfied. That's called shit. That's called dukkha. It's called dukkha. That's like the endless. It's not like suffering as in like, oh, I'm in pain. It's just like endless not being satisfied with life. We've all been there. If you haven't been there, that literally means you are the Buddha. That is like you're literally a Buddha if you did that. So unless you are extremely enlightened, and we're gonna go into what that means, you have not broken out of this pattern that all humans go through. And so
if you want something, do you want something right now?
I want
not
this
Buddha.
fucking coffee. Yeah, exactly. So that like leads. So Buddha, when he was sitting there, or he wasn't Buddha yet. He wasn't Buddha yet. When he was Gautama Siddhartha, he was sitting there, and he came up with the Four Noble Truths, which is in life there's always suffering. So that is like, if you live, you will suffer. That's like a truth to all humans. Like look at like animals and stuff. They die. That's suffering. Look at like our current situation. Like life is pretty awesome, but inevitably something like a pandemic might come up and you will suffer.
Zach, are you saying life is meaningless?
No, kinda.
Oh.
This is why like Buddhism's kind of tricky, because like coming from a Western perspective, a lot of these ideas are gonna be like, well, what if I do this or whatever? But so your suffering actually comes from attachment. So let's think of like why we're suffering from a pandemic right now. It's because you want to go outside, you want to see friends, you don't want the risk of dying every day. You just want life to be back to normal. That's why you're suffering. Like realistically, nothing really has changed, if you'd agree with that. It's just you want life where there is no pandemic.
All right, what do you mean by nothing has changed? Because a lot has changed.
Oh, fuck, we're going into, we're getting philosophical. It's like the universe, like nothing has changed. Like this is normal. Pandemics happen. It's just like part of life is like pandemics happen. It's like a cycle. It's like if you were complaining about the debt cycle and being like, oh man, the economy sucks. We got these cycles.
Okay, so you're saying in like the grand scale, nothing's changed.
The grand scale, nothing's changed. You're still here. Like you still have your whole body. You're like you physically have not changed. Your situation has not changed. Your surroundings may have changed a little bit, but realistically, not too much on a personal level has changed. So it's more about you're tormenting yourself by saying, oh, I want the pre-pandemic world. That's really where your suffering comes from. So that's the second noble truth, is that suffering comes from attachment of things, right?
Okay.
And you can actually end this. There's a way to end this suffering. To break out of this, like, it's like a wheel kind of thing. Like you're like, oh, I got this thing, and then you sink to a low, and then you keep cycling. You can break out of that. That's called nirvana. It literally means blowing out. And I took this Enneagram test, and I was getting a consultation. There's like a level 1 high functioning or whatever type you are, and I was like, how do you get to a level 1? The Enneagram test, it's like a personality exam.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So I was like, how do you get to a level 1, which is like a really high functioning level of that personality? And she was like, I don't know if you're religious. And I'm like, oh, is it nirvana? And she was like, yeah, that's nirvana. So nirvana is like a real thing. It's when you end all desire. And be careful, because you can actually end all desire. That doesn't mean like, oh, I will never eat. It's like, maybe we'll get into that. But the way to achieve nirvana is to follow the eightfold path, which is what we're going to get into. So, any questions so far, Akash?
So explain nirvana again. So what do you mean by end all desire? Could you go a little bit into that?
Oi. So, ending all desire, I think means now I'm not like a professional, so like bear with me. It might be better to listen to some of the higher ups, the higher up monks out there. But ending all desire means you are, I wouldn't say content. It doesn't mean you don't want to grow. It just means
Okay.
you're okay with the now. You're okay with the fact that you're not famous. You're okay with the fact that your salary is what it is. You're okay with the fact that you're going to die one day, or that all things
Mm-hmm.
die and that suffering is inevitable. Um, you're you're aware that things, there are no independence of things. Everything is connected. So by that I mean, like, death is like a construct in our minds. Like when we say death, we think that we disappear, but there is no permanent self in Buddhism. Or I guess if we say Buddhism is the truth, there is no permanent self in
Mm-hmm.
that. Remember the egg from Kyrgyzstan or something?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. So it's we all came from the one and we go back to the one.
Yeah. So like my actions while I'm quote unquote living, while I'm an animate being, will affect the next person. So in a way, I am there. If we like really get meta on this shit, I am there, but there is no I. So like I don't want to say I, but we are just always there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of
We just
whack.
we are.
We are, exactly. So we are. Like you are the shitty people in the world. We are all, this is terrible. Well, we are Hitler. But we are also Jesus and Gandhi.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
the combination of the evils in the world. Because think about how good people affected the world and how evil people affected the world before us. So you are your parents and you are their parents. You are the combination of everything around you. We're all just one. Yeah, man. Fucking trippy, right?
Trippy AF.
All right. So,
So one more question before you move on.
yeah.
Is nirvana enlightenment?
Yes. So, nirvana is when you detach yourself from desire, when you end suffering. You're just there. You know, it's like the highest self you can be. And this is like the biggest focus of Buddhism. So when Gautama was sitting at the tree, when he woke from that meditation after 49 days, he reached nirvana, enlightenment, his true self, like the highest intelligence you can have. He reached it. It's attainable, but it's also extremely difficult. By wanting to attain nirvana, I think this is like a philosophy or something that I read a while ago, but I think by wanting to attain nirvana, you've already failed to attain nirvana. Nirvana
Okay.
itself, you don't even know you attain nirvana. So it's like one of those things where you don't know. It's like if you look, it's over.
So okay, so you said there are these 8 steps, so I guess we're just gonna get into that to achieve nirvana. If you're going through the steps, doesn't it mean you can't achieve nirvana?
Kinda, kinda. So the main goal is to get to nirvana, but the other goal is not necessarily to shoot for nirvana. Like that, it's like an end goal. If we think about like our whole goal thing, it's like the goal that you want to get to that's like unobtainable or whatever. It's the thing you're always chasing that you're never going to reach. But it is the other thing that they try to do is just like being a good person per se, or you know, just like being a good person is like what you do. So these 8 steps will make you a better person while you're on your journey to nirvana. So nirvana is like the target, but the other, like the real goal that you should be shooting for is like being a better person.
Okay.
So yeah, so we have these 8, a noble eightfold path. This is the path to liberation. Liberation is when you reach nirvana. Yeah. So we're gonna go over those steps. There's like a big table on There's a big table on this on Wikipedia.
All right, let me scroll down to it.
Actually, I forgot to mention the 3 marks of existence, which is I covered it, but I didn't like, go over it. So there is 3 marks of existence, which is suffering. We went over that. Impertinence, which is life is always changing. The person I was 30 seconds ago is not the person I am at this second. And the person I was when I said that is not the person now. There is no such thing as permanence. Like everything is changing at all times. Like you are not you from an hour ago. That's literally a memory.
It's true.
So that's something.
And there is also no future. There is just the now.
Exactly. Yeah. So one thing to know is that all views are wrong views. If that makes sense. Not really. Okay. All
No.
views are wrong views. Isn't like we talked about death. Like we think death is just like life is over, like you're gone. But we kind of slightly disprove that. Death really means like your body's no longer animated. And you no longer have brain function, but your body will be, passed into the earth, and you become dirt, which will become a tree, and that tree will become an apple, and one day Akash will be eating my dead body.
Whoa, dude, by the time you're dead, I'm sure I'll be dead too, unless I'm immortal. You become immortal when you reach enlightenment?
I mean, it's arguable that we're all immortal.
True, true.
There is another talk of where samsara, which is like the life and death cycle, that you will become reincarnated into a new being. I think it's like it's partially
That's very close to Hinduism too.
Okay, so this is cool, but Hinduism, I know that like they say God can take many forms, so they were just like that's why it's kind of OP. So they just took Buddha. They're like, yeah, that's just God, another form.
What?
OP. That they were able to like adopt the Buddha very, very quickly.
Oh, yeah, because it's see, I don't know. A lot of people say Hinduism is polytheistic, but it isn't exactly. There's like one God, and then just a bunch of different forms of that one God.
See, in my opinion, I think that all religions are exactly the same. Like they're all the same. It's just like people word them differently and like structure the bureaucracy differently.
Yeah, I agree with that. To a certain sense, yeah. I could see that.
So what were we talking about? All views are wrong views. So like what you think is probably wrong. You know nothing. If we go into the self-help, is like a good way to live is that you know nothing.
So this is the first step in the eightfold.
The first step is wisdom. Yep, actually it is. I see you're on the article.
Yeah.
So the first okay, so we have 3 divisions: wisdom, moral virtues, and meditation. These like follow the 4 noble truths to end dukkha, which is suffering. So wisdom can be broken down into 2 things, which is a right view and a right intention.
Okay.
So by right view, you need to know that when you die, you don't actually die. You do cease to function, but your body's still here. Like you dissociate into the fucking earth. And then everything you did while you were here is still gonna be here. Like if you chopped down a tree and then you died the next day, that tree is still chopped down because of you. So you affect everybody. Right intention. So you
Wait,
don't.
who's Peter Harvey? I'm reading this article right
I,
now.
I have I have no idea. I think that's
Oh,
some
okay,
like
okay,
philosopher. I didn't go deep into it.
okay, okay,
Um,
okay. Cool.
so this is right intention. This is like saying you're not gonna like kill people, I guess, and you're gonna live like a peaceful life. I don't want to confuse it with the moral virtues because, like, with right intention, you could say, don't manipulate people or whatever. But that's actually more into the virtues. So, right speech, you don't want to lie. Lying's bad. Right action, no killing people, and then no sexual acts that are malicious. I think everyone can understand what that means. And when you're in monastic pursuit, you're not gonna have sex with anyone. No fucking people's wives is another one on there. And right livelihood. The Buddhists in like the monasteries will beg for food, and they're not gonna kill people or sentient beings.
Hey, real quick, going back to right action. No sexual involvement with someone married or with an unmarried woman protected by her parents or relatives. Is that to say that only men can take this path? At least the way it was written in the past?
I think based on yes and no. So let's like dissect this a little bit. It could have been because of the traditional way people were getting married back then, which is like
Mm-hmm.
you court the daughter or whatever, but it wasn't the other way around. So it could have been because of that. But women can still pursue. I think it's changed now. Like women can approach men and men can approach women. Fine. So I think, yeah, maybe the wording on this should be changed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it applies to women as well. And I know that's true because you've seen plenty of women in the monasteries. So,
Yeah, so yeah, so I was just wondering if so in the monasteries right now they do accept women. The religion isn't sexist.
it isn't sexist, racist,
Okay,
or it doesn't care. So I think that
cool.
I just think that this is because of like the times is why
The
that
time,
was
okay.
written that way. But I don't know. I'm not an expert historian. All right, now meditation. So when I think of Buddhism, I think of meditation, but we can see here that meditation is like it's a part of it, it's an important part, but it's not all of it. So you have your virtues, your wisdom, which is like your intent, and then you have your meditation. So right effort, you're gonna be focused. I guess what's that saying? You're not gonna like let yourself be thinking about other shit. You're gonna be focused. Never be absent-minded. So you need to be self-aware of your actions. You need to know who you are. Right concentration, which is correct meditation. So that means I didn't get into that, but I think that means the proper technique of meditation. So the proper posture and things like that. So that's the meditation part. So that's yeah, that's how you would pretty much, if you follow that every day, I guess, for a long time, maybe you'll reach enlightenment. But
Why would
again,
you follow that every day?
why? So we got to think about it's the goal is to like get rid of suffering, is to like take the root of a thought that you believe is true and remove it. To be comfortable with just yourself and things like that. So these are prescriptions to like help you achieve or just like get rid of suffering or be present and things like that. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm
Yeah,
no
no, makes
expert.
sense, but there's just a contradiction that if you want all of those things,
Yeah.
you're following this eightfold, what is it? The holy eightfold path, or the noble eightfold path, because you want to achieve nirvana, but you can't achieve it if you want it. Or maybe is it that you originally started because you want to achieve nirvana, but through doing the 8 steps, you forget that you want that and you just achieve it. Maybe that's the
I think yeah. Um the thing is to like not cling and crave. So like you don't cling. Like nirvana is a thing you can achieve. It's like when you
mm.
become a musician, you could get famous, but you don't cling to it. You like being a musician. Or
So it's okay if it
yeah,
goes away. You're content whether it's
you're
there or
content.
not.
It's better. See, this is like another thing we might have covered, but it's the habits are better than like the goal. Is like key here. It's better
It's
to
all about
be
the journey, not the
exactly like
destination.
the habits are everything. Like nirvana will be instantaneous if you get there. It'll just happen. You probably won't even know. But all this stuff is like a lifetime of work, or 49 days if you're that good.
Dude, it's crazy how many parallels this has with stoicism.
Yeah,
Not in the more the not in the ideas of it, I guess, but more in like in the way of life it preaches. If you live that way of life, you're probably a stoic at that point because they pretty much preach the impermanence of everything and how you can't let the outer world affect you. Things will stay and things will go. You just have to be okay with that.
yeah. I think one of the great things that all these philosophies that we've touched before is that they address. This is why I think all religions are really the same, in my opinion. They're just worded differently. Is that they all address the struggles and suffering of being a human. In that we are still animals and we have these needs and wants that are just biological, but at the same time we're able to think and rationalize and then understand. I don't think other animals understand that they will die. I think we understand it a lot better that like that's the end. Like they'll have that like fight or flight reaction
Right. But
when
they
they're getting
can't think
chased,
about the
but they don't
fight or flight,
they don't think they
or
don't
at
like
least not to the extent we could do.
they don't I don't think they like know that they are a being. They don't really think like I is a difficult construct for them.
Yeah, like look at what we did. We took this concept of death and made an entire ass heaven and hell to go along with it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Um
that's crazy how much we think into these things.
yeah. But like yeah, that's like a basic intro to Buddhism. I would recommend not taking this as like all like this is like not like a complete course. It's just my attempt at learning it. Uh yeah, I would definitely like read up more, follow the article, go through the sources. You cannot master Buddhism in like a hour long podcast or whatever.
Mm.
A lot more time.
Yeah, and other thing I would add is if you guys are looking for, if anyone watching is looking for more of a practical way to, I guess, live out the concepts of Buddhism and have a practical way for it to help you out in your daily life, achieving the state where you're focused on the now, I highly recommend the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I've been reading that book recently and man, that shit it blows your mind cuz I'm personally not a very spiritual person or anything like that. I'm very logical, analytic, using my mind. I think a lot, but the entire thing about the book is it separates yourself, who you are, from your mind. So it shows that you're separate from whatever you're thinking and how you're separate from everything else. And I don't know if you're like another analytical person like me, it's a gigantic mind fuck. So I highly recommend checking it out. It's a pretty interesting read, and I think it can help a lot of people.
Right on. Yeah, I gotta read more spiritual books.
Dude, get into that book. It's like it's the same concepts as Buddhism. Eckhart Tolle also believes he reached a form of enlightenment.
That means he didn't.
All right. From what I read, I mean, he never actually says
Oh,
it
okay, okay.
himself. He goes through a story about what happened. I'm saying it seems like he reached
Gotcha.
enlightenment.
Yeah, I mean, you could like shortcut with mushrooms and stuff, but that's not really that's not sustainable.
Yeah, so the thing with that is you're depending on something external to put you in presence, which is fine, except it's again, it's very, very temporary. And if you want more results, like a lifelong change and results from it, you're not going to get it from shrooms.
Mm-hmm.
It can still be very beneficial, but
Yeah, yeah, that's like one thing. Like, I've had people who come up to me and they say, "Well, what if I want to take mushrooms to reach enlightenment?" And I'd say something like that's cheating or whatever. But like, what I really mean is like, you don't want to be dependent on things like that. And again, the goal is not enlightenment. The goal is to like be. I don't want to say be the best person, but the goal is to be present. There you go. That's the
be a
eightfold path.
present
And
good guy or gal.
now there was like a whole section on lay Buddhists versus like the really rigid ones. And you don't have to like join a monastery, shave your head and like beg for food. It's just not practical for everyone or abstain from sexual contact. There are there are many spiritual people out there who get married and stuff like that. You don't have to get rid of everything, but yeah.
It's wild. It's really cool. I might end up looking further into this.
A lot of the
But yeah,
articles like the history and the like numbers, how many people do it.
yeah, and in the book, Eckhart Tolle also references a lot of Jesus and what Jesus says and how like people could misinterpret it and the way he derives the meaning out of what Jesus says, and it sounds a lot like Buddhism, like what you were talking about, how all religions pretty much have the same meaning behind. They're just written and interpreted differently.
Exactly. Yeah. I am. That's why religious wars are stupid. It's like you're literally just killing each other for the same shit.
Yeah, it's wild, dude. It's
Yeah.
maybe one day we'll grow out of it. We'll all just chill,
Yeah.
take a nice
Um.
chill pill.
There's another thing that people recite. It's called taking refuge. So this is like another common Buddhist practice. You can look it up, taking refuge in Buddhism. But you generally recite these three things where it's like I go to the Buddha as refuge, I go to the Dhamma as refuge, I go to the Sangha as refuge. Um, it's supposed to like uplift you, purify and strengthen the heart. It's a good mantra. Another thing is listening to the Dharma. Um, I guess I like kind of went over it. I guess that's my own Dharma or whatever, but it's just like it's like teaching you Buddhism, I guess. This could be like completely wrong, so I apologize. But yeah, that's another thing. Um, lay people when you're like going to do your Buddhism stuff, like you go to a retreat or whatever, no sexual activity. You have to eat at the same time every day. Abstain from jewelry, perfume, adornment, and entertainment. Abstain from sleeping on a high bed. So we can connect this with stoicism and like doing your suffering, whatever.
So, who mainly practices Buddhism right now? Is it all Chinese people, or is it also like what do they practice in Japan? Is that Buddhism too?
Um, I know one thing I studied was Zazen. It's like pretty much Buddhism, but 97% of Cambodians, people in Cambodia, study or are Buddhists. 93% in Thailand are Buddhist. 80% in Burma are Buddhist. For China, there's 18% are Buddhists, which is
68%
like,
in Japan.
which is literally the fucking. No, I said it's 18%. Oh, that's
Mm.
as of 2010. So I guess it got more popular since 2010.
And I think Buddhism right now, all these Stoicism, Buddhism, all these philosophies are starting to become mainstream in the Western world too.
Yeah, it definitely has. It's tricky because there are conflicting ideas, um, but you got to learn to have them work with each other, walk the middle way, as Buddha would say.
Yeah, and whatever helps you the most, to be honest, whichever philosophy gives you inner peace
Yeah, exactly.
uh, for a more practical way to go about it. But that's cool. Any final thoughts on Buddhism, Zach?
Um, definitely look more into it. It's cool. It's a cool religion. It's very practical. Some of the stuff, in my opinion, and you can apply it to your
Yeah, I
life.
like that these religions, just from the way they're worded, they're more of a way of life rather than other religions. They also have these codes and conducts and everything, but when reading into it, it doesn't feel like a way of life. It more feels like law and order rather than with this. It feels more, I don't know, just feels chiller for lack of a better word.
It's pretty chill. I know that like after the Buddha got up, these people came up to him and they were like, "Yo," they were like, "Oh shit, we're gonna get some crazy shit from Buddha." And I think he was like, "Let's just go eat. I'm hungry."
Dude, have you ever watched this dude? Oh, voice crack. Have you ever watched this dude, Connor Murphy, on YouTube?
Is he like that like ripped dude?
Yeah.
Oh, I
He's this
fucking
ripped
hate that
dude
guy.
who does stupid shit. Like he goes around, like takes his shirt off and be like, "Can I have your number?" or some shit.
I hate that
But
shit.
no, dude. So recently, he had like a psychotic breakdown. He did ayahuasca or some other crazy psychedelic. Had this breakdown. He went to like a psych ward for 2 weeks. Then came out. Now he has this like spiritual YouTube channel, like
The fuck?
preaching all these crazy
Really?
Buddha level shit. Yeah, look up Connor Murphy Talks. But what this guy did was he just recently finished a 40-day fast and he live streamed the whole thing. And he's like, "Yeah, guys, I'm not doing it for health purposes. I'm doing it for spiritual purposes to show that I don't know. I don't remember exactly why he did it, but it was for some spiritual purpose."
Did he like
But
lose all of his? Yo, he like lost all of his muscle mass from that.
well, that's the thing though. But still, look at how much he did maintain though.
Yo, he looks dead.
Yeah, and, like his eyes are
What the
like.
fuck? Oh my god.
But surprisingly, even after all that, he still retained a certain amount of muscle mass. Like he's not like he's pretty skinny now, but not as much as you'd expect. He lost like I think 40 pounds though. He went from 199 to 158 or something like that. It's crazy.
So did he quit like his
No, he's good.
like dumb
What?
flexing? Did he like quit like flexing pranks or whatever to
Oh,
like get?
oh, he said that he's gonna bring him back.
God damn it.
No, what he said that is like he portrays himself as this douchebag and everything, but that's just his job. Like he said, he's like, guys, believe me, there's more to me. Whatever. But yeah, he posted a video of him eating his first meal after the fast.
The
He ate
watermelon.
watermelon. Yeah. I'm like, remember, was it you who didn't eat sugar for like 2 weeks and you're like, wow, ice cream tastes so good or something?
It was like a month and like everything tasted good that was with sugar.
Yeah. Imagine water fasting for 40 days. So all you could drink was water and nothing else, no vitamins, nothing else. Imagine your first meal after that.
Damn.
Like, yeah. And he recorded that. But yeah, he's been preaching some crazy enlightened shit. But
It's
he
pretty cool.
he on the other hand did say he reached enlightenment.
No,
So
he didn't.
yeah,
Don't lie.
yeah.
No, you didn't.
But it's interesting. I guess in his sense, the psychedelics did help him get there. Not to true enlightenment, but at least a part of the way there,
I just feel like this
because
kid is in a phase right now.
that could be it too. That's definitely a possibility.
I already broke the Buddhist rules. You're not supposed to talk like that when they're not here.
Oh no, let's invite him on.
Let's
Let's
invite him
invite.
on. Is it true? You lying? No. Okay. I think we yeah, go check out this article. I gotta put it in the description or we'll get sued by Wikipedia. So yeah.
So yeah, we'll put that there. Thank you for tuning in to
Do
the
you know what?
Wikipedia show with Zach and Akash, episode 1. What
Do
are
you
you
know what you're
saying?
talking about next week?
Oh, right. Let me pull that up real quick.
Cuck Masters.
What? Oh god damn it.
Oh, sorry, Mike.
Next week, I'll be talking about Nostradamus.
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 The
I don't know how you say it.
end of the fucking world. Feels like Nostradamus right now.
Sure, yeah. But yeah, that guy, he's supposedly predicted some crazy shit that happened. I don't know. I'm gonna look into him, see what's up. The truth about Nostradamus, or whoever, coming at you next Sunday live at 10 a.m.
I'm scared.
at the Zach and Akash on YouTube. We're gonna change the YouTube channel name to the Wikipedia show. It's Zach and Akash. And
You want to
also,
change it to
if
Zach and
you wanna,
Akash? I
what?
don't know. We'll talk about branding later.
Yeah, we'll talk about this later. But the actual episode itself is going to be uploaded on the Wikipedia show. It's Zach and Akash. It should be on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, but it might take a couple weeks for it to process and get up there. But Spotify
Propagate.
should hopefully be up there soon. But follow the Zach and Akash show on Instagram, where we'll let you know as soon as everything's reviewed, and it's going to be up there. So follow us if you don't want to miss out. And with that said, I'll see you next Sunday talking about Daddy Nostradamus.
How do you think we did, Akash, today? First Wikipedia
It's
show
pretty
in a long
good.
time.
I enjoyed it.
Right on.
It was interesting the whole time, so it was fun.
I'm
I also
surprised.
really like Buddhism, so
I'm surprised how much content we can squeeze out with a little article.
yeah, I think that depends on the topic too, because something like Buddhism, it's also a bit philosophical, so you can
That's
you can
true.
talk for hours about this shit.
That's true.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
for sure, it's nice to have this side by side, a little backbone kind of guiding us.
Right on, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I'll
See
give you
y'all
guys eye
later.
contact to finish off. Bye.
Let me stop my recording and then let me go back to the pre-show. Yeah, that's crazy.